like to see big, fat guys score touchdowns. They do. Let's be honest. This is their one chance to shine. They sneak out there. Nobody's expecting it. Is Barry Sanders the number one choice?
Barry Sanders is not your average back.
Did he play in the AFC or NFC?
Who's number one? Tell me who's number one. Loved watching him play. You wanted to see him touch the ball because you're waiting for the big play to happen. Who's he going to make miss? Is he going to jump over somebody? Is he going to go around somebody? He was one of those highlight type runners.
Well, what I want to say about the coaches, you know, we're questioning Luke Fickell in the defense and that today, and even maybe Tom Herman in that first half. Kudos to those coaches for making the halftime adjustments. 2 games in a row now. They've trailed at halftime. They went into the locker room. They made some adjustments on offense and defense, and they've outscored the opposition now 51-17 the last 2 games in the second half.
Here's the thing, Bruce, which is sad. I go back to a couple of years ago when they drafted Kyrie and when they drafted Tristan Thompson. I loved the Kyrie pick. That, to me, was a no-brainer. The Tristan Thompson pick, I had some issues with because, like our one caller said, they need a shooter. They still don't have one, so I would have went in a different direction there. But then Anthony Davis, that's the year you wanted the number 1 pick. The Cavs didn't get it, unfortunately. Then last year, you didn't want the number 1 pick. They tried to trade it. They settled for Anthony Bennett. Now he's not even in the rotation. If there's a year you want to be in the top 3, it's this coming draft. And I don't want to, you know, have the rebirth of Apbith, another ping pong ball in the hopper. I don't want to do that, but boy, this would be the year if you wanted to. I'm hoping, though, the Cavs make the playoffs. And Mike Brown told me the other night, even with the slow start, he still thinks they can make the playoffs. And as of today, even though they're under 500, they're tied for the 8th spot. I looked at his numbers today. He's averaging 94 yards per game receiving. He has 4 touchdowns, almost 19 yards per catch. He's a big play guy, but I agree with the caller. The light bulb doesn't always stay on. It flickers at times, Bruce, and other times it goes off totally. I was thrilled that nothing happened over the bye week with Josh Gordon. He was able to make it through the bye week without incident. My biggest concern isn't during the season with Josh Gordon, because he's going to give you those games where he wows you and then other games he's a head scratcher. But it's the offseason that is the biggest concern. He needs to be mentored, tutored somehow so he doesn't go down that path that Randy Moss did, where he doesn't.
Well, the most important thing is keeping LeBron James. No offense to Shaq, who's won 4 championships already. It's about LeBron. Once they get LeBron taken care of, then they'll look at everything else. And with Shaq coming here, it solves a big problem for them. They didn't have a big guy in the middle that was a defensive force, a rebounding force. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, who will come off the bench now, is more of a finesse player, an outside shooter. Shaq gives them that legitimate post player to defend the Dwight Howards, the Paul Gasols, the Yao Mings, and guys like that who really hurt them last year.
Is there a way he could have done it differently that would have left less pain? Is there any way he was going to move to Miami and not anger all of his fans there?
Absolutely. Doing this live TV show 1 hour to rip the hearts out of Clevelanders on national TV, he had the right as a free agent to go wherever he wanted. But the way he went about it is what really has Clevelanders upset, and deservedly so. He could have just held a small press conference in Miami and said, this is where I'm playing, be done with it, and that would have been fine. Some people would have still been upset, but it wouldn't have been, as devastating as it was watching it on ESPN the other night.
Key for Game 1 as the Cavaliers try and bounce back after that rest.
Maybe not a great start, but just to keep it even if they're a little rusty, and then I think the Cavaliers will refine themselves and really pull away. In their 3 wins over Atlanta this year, they've led by double digits at the half. I think that second quarter will be better than the first quarter. I think LeBron is going to be phenomenal, as he always is. He takes his game to that next level come playoff time, and he's shown that already this year, and I expect more of that starting tomorrow.
Team Kenny Roda, take it away.
Thanks, Doug. I asked Coach what he liked in that first period. He said, not much at all. I said, well, what do you need to do here in period 2 and period 3? And he said, number 1, we need to raise our intensity. We're not intense enough here tonight. Number 2, need to make sharper passes. I heard Jock talking about that. He's right on the money there. And number 3, we need to get more pucks to the net to give ourselves some chances. So those are the things he needs to see here in this second and third period. Guys, back up to you. Welcome back to Quicken Loans Arena. I'm Kenny Roda. Here's what's coming up during the second period intermission. We'll grab one of the Monsters players. We'll talk about the first 40 minutes of action here today. We'll have part 2 of Doug Plagan's interview with David Oliver of the Monsters, and we'll have all the stats and the highlights from the first 2 periods. But for right now, let's throw it back upstairs to Doug and Jock. Guys,
We are ready downstairs. Let's kick it to Kenny Roda.
thanks. Luke Walker here with me. Luke, take me through the first 2 periods. How do you think you guys have played tonight?
The first period, we didn't really have
He wanted to see more pucks to the net. He wanted to see more intensity, sharper passes. Do you think you guys did that?
Yeah, for sure. I think that
You got the game's first goal. We'll take a look at the monitor here. Take me through it. What happened?
Barry made a great pass.
And key here, maybe to get a goal early with the power play opportunity coming out in the third?
Yeah, of course.
That'd be nice, right?
Oh, yeah.
Luke, thanks so much. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Luke Walker with the game's only goal so far here at Quicken Loans Arena. The Monsters with a 1-0 lead over the Griffins. We're just getting started with the second period intermission. Plenty more to come your way, so stay with us right here on the Monsters Hockey Network.